Well, good afternoon. This is episode 29 of Psycho's Platters. I hope everybody had themselves a fantastic week of crate digging and yard and garage sales and all the resale shops, and maybe you guys found yourself some really good stuff. At least I hope so. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little out of it today. I haven't entirely felt quite good the last few days, but I thought I'd go off and film a short one today, because believe it or not, I really didn't get a lot. I really didn't find very much over the last week and a half. So I'll show you what I did end up getting, okay? So let's see here. Right off the bat, we start off with an album that I didn't even know existed from this guy who, well, he used to be in a really, really big band. Papa John Creech, ladies and gentlemen, The Cat and the Fiddle from 1977 on PJM Records. There he is, of course, with the fiddle and the bow. Papa John Creech got himself started in the late death throes of Jefferson Airplane, 1972, if I remember. I think he's on like the Long John Silver album, I think, is when he got his start, and he stayed with them all the way through, I want to say, about 76, 77, and then he went to go do this album. Really good fiddle player. One of my favorite tracks with him on it, with Starship, is Ride the Tiger. He's got a good little fiddle solo in that sucker, and he's of course no longer with us. I think he briefly rejoined Jefferson Starship in the 90s, I want to say. He's on a CD with them somewhere. Of course, Grace Slick no longer with them for about, almost 20 years now, I guess, if not more. So, like I said, kind of odd to find that little one anyway. This one here, I buy compilation records from time to time, but I actually never seen this one. This one from 1967, Smash Sounds. Yeah, that's right. Now, in the corner here, I know you can't see this really well because it's a mix of labels, but it is the Atco group, okay? You've got the Carla, the Dunwich, Atco, Karen, Volt, and, oh dear Lord, I want to say Fame Records, okay? Some actually really good stuff on here. Sonny and Cher, Otis Redding, Arthur Conley, Benny King, Buffalo Springfield, The Capitals, The Shadows of Night, Jimmy Hughes, King Curtis, Percy Wiggins, and The Coasters, all on one album. Like I said, I've never seen this one before. And let's see here. The condition on this sucker. Couple fingerprints, but mostly I'd say at least in VG. But see, that's what your label looks like. It just simply says the Atco Group, and it's got all the other little versions of the labels there too. Okay, this one kind of goofy. I normally don't get soundtracks. I really, really don't. But Goodwill, of course, was dumping a bunch. I was there on a Sunday, and I'm sitting here, and that's how I picked up these few that I just showed you already. But I'd never seen this one before, and to me it kind of looked a little interesting. The soundtrack to Beckett with Richard Burton, and Peter O'Toole. It's on Decca, okay? Taken from the Paramount Motion Picture. But I've never seen a red Decca, and it's in mint condition. You got to bear with me, but like I said, I've never seen the label on this sucker. So, it's produced by Hal Wallace, who, of course, would end up producing some of Elvis's movies, good and bad. So I'm not entirely sure what year this is. But like I said, for $1, I couldn't pass that up. I know there's got to be some soundtrack collectors out there. Let's see here. What else? Dave Mason. You like Dave Mason? I like Dave Mason. This one here, of course, from 1978 on Columbia. It's a promo, is what this sucker is. Nice, beautiful white label promo, Columbia, mint condition on this sucker. Let's see, who's on here? Anybody particular? Oh, here we go. Okay, Jerry Beckley. Who's that sound from? Anyone? From the group America. That's right. So he's playing background vocals on that one. Let's see, Mark Stein. Does that name sound familiar to you? Keyboard player for Vanilla Fudge. Yeah, that's right. He's on here too. But yeah, they're on a handful of songs, those two. Oh, here's one. Stephen Stills. Oh, we know where he's from. Good old Crosby, Stills, Nash, and of course Buffalo Springfield. Here's a track here. It's got Dave Mason, Mark Stein, Jeff Porcaro from Toto. All three of them playing on Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? Yeah, that's the old Shirelles cover. Let's see here. One other Stephen Stills. Porcaro. You know, still though, I mean, pretty neat for 1978 anyway. Oh, here you go. Graham Nash is on another track too. So nice. Yeah, like I said, it's a whole bunch of hodgepodge. Nice little inner sleeve too. Like I said, for $1 I couldn't pass that up also. Let's see. Also, in the same piles, maybe some people out there can help me a little bit with these particular pieces. I ended up finding some 1989-1990 thrash metal. Okay, I gotta confess, I like hair metal, like heavy metal. I don't know much about thrash. That is not my category. These ones here, okay, I'll show you both of these. These are on the Hollis In Effect New York label. Okay, now first one here I have heard of. Nuclear Assault, alright, Trail of Tears, promo 12-inch, both sides are the same track. Promo 33s, by the way, on these, okay? But Nuclear Assault, I know they're still going. This one here is a promo still, but this one actually has 2 songs from the band Scatterbrain, okay? No covers, mint condition, stone mint in these white sleeves. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, did they have regular sleeves to these things, or did they just get released with white labels? I have never heard of Hollis In Effect New York label. Okay, I went and looked in the discography of both bands, and neither one of them even hinted about a promo single like this. So I don't know what to do with them, personally. Let's see, what else? Oh, okay, I picked this up for a couple bucks. Anthrax, Spreading the Disease. Oh, I love Anthrax. There's your back cover from 1985 on all of this. Megaforce Records. Just needs a slight bit of cleaning, but other than that, really, really nice. All right. Remember what I said about different things for autographs, okay? You just never know where you're going to find autographs. Goodwill did it again. $2. Now, it's not just musicians that I do this with, okay? Remember I told you an episode or 2 ago that down here where I live in Northwest Arkansas was a hotbed for book signings at one point or another, okay? The last 6 to 7 years that I've lived here, I know who's come through here, but I also know who's come sort of through surrounding towns, stuff like that, okay? So maybe they weren't necessarily in Northwest Arkansas, but I know that they happen to be around here. So, you know what? I didn't know Patti LaBelle did a cookbook. I really didn't, okay? And it kind of looks nice. I mean, she's cute. What else is new, right? But I happen to flip through here. Signed book plate from Broadway Books, wherever Broadway Books is. But for $2 to get a signed Patti LaBelle book, can't pass that up. It says here, oh here, praise for LaBelle cuisine, because that's what the name of this book is. Bill Cosby says, she can cook even without the Jell-O pudding. No, I know, that was a horrible. I don't really care. Cyndi Lauper, yeah, I can't pronounce this. This is all French she's talking. And then Suzanne Summers. All give their accolades. Isn't that something? I wonder when she was cooking if she was on her own. I know that was a bad musical joke. I wonder if Michael McDonald's as good in the kitchen as Patty is. Okay, this last one, kind of odd. Kind of odd story. When you're going to garage sales or estate sales or anything else like that for that matter, and you're flipping through the albums, if you find any, you just never know what you're going to find. And once again, this happened to me. in the signed album category. Okay. I went and took a chance on this. It didn't cost me a heck of a lot, but I mean, I usually try to get stories for the albums that I purchase. You know, give me some information on how this was acquired. So let me show you first what I'm talking about. Okay. I love the Lovin' Spoonful. I really do. They're actually one of my favorite 60s bands. I know, sorry for the gloss, kids. It's in the sleeve, okay? Do You Believe in Magic? This was released, if I remember correctly, in the summer of 65. I want to say late summer of 65. I know you can't see it very, very well, but guess what? Right in that little corner there where you got all four of them in the picture, it's a black and white photo. Every member signed this album on the back. This isn't the first time. It must have been a habit back then to sign on the backs of their album covers instead of the fronts. I never understood this. So, who was the four members of the Lovin' Spoonful? Zal Yankovsky, okay? He drew a little heart, and it simply says Zal. And then, of course, John scribbled his first name on this. Joe Butler and Steve Boone both signed this. Okay, three of them signed it in black, and Zal signed it in green. Okay, so I'm telling you, pretty cool about all of this. He told me, the guy that I got this from, that she used to go to concerts. This was a late sister, okay, and she used to go to concerts if it was like, you know, 'cause she grew up in this area, I guess, Tulsa, Little Rock. If it was around that area, you know, and it was worth it, and it was one of her favorites, she would drive out. Other than that, I don't have much more information on this. The only thing I can figure is that this album, like I said, came out in the summer of 65. Zal ended up leaving the band due to a drug bust in May of 67. He's the only member that's no longer with us anymore. He died, I want to say, in the last 10 years. He was up in Canada. So I tried to figure this out. I tried to pull up tour dates to see maybe, you know, if there was any access to maybe when roughly this album could have been signed, but it's kind of a mystery. She's a mystery. Yeah, I know, that was a bad Lovin' Spoonful title joke. Yeah, I'm stretching it today, kids. But what I'm getting at is that you just never know when you're going to find something really nice. And, you know, and I got to confess, this isn't the first time, like I said, that I have purchased something from a deceased family member's collection that was autographed, or even unautographed for that matter. My attitude is this on all of it. You know, that person had the memories attached to it, okay, that they got to meet him and all that. And, you know, if it's somebody you really enjoy and you end up finding this stuff, you know, it's just like it's being passed on. It's being passed forward, you know, so that somebody else can enjoy it too. When I die, I kind of already told my kids, I gave them instructions like, look, you know, if you don't want to deal with it, sell the stuff, but don't sell it like a nickel a piece. You know, sell it to maybe some people that would enjoy it thoroughly, or if anything, donate it to a library under the condition they'll never get rid of it. Okay? Except the signed ones. I don't want them, you know, I want them to either keep the signed ones or sell them, obviously, at a fair price. I do deal and stuff, but I don't rake people over the coals. I know people that do that, and I don't appreciate that. Nor would I want to do that to somebody else. You know, I think personally people should all be fair as best as possible, you know, but we all live in a, you know, a real world here, so you kind of have to watch out for this kind of stuff. So I'm glad to have that album. That's going to be kind of neat. I always like their stuff. Love and Spoonful, for your information, if you don't know, it actually is still out on the road, but it is Joe Butler and Steve Boone are still doing this. Okay. He no longer drums anymore. I think it's because he can't. So he sings. And Jerry Yester, okay, who was on the later Spoonful records after Zal left, he performs with them too. So I mean, you've got two original members and a third one that was on some of the recordings from late '67 to late '68 or something like that. If they ever come to a place near you, go check them out. I have heard that they do sign after their shows too. Jerry, of course, is the brother of Jim Yester from the Association. So all different kinds of fun stuff there. Let's see, what else? There is some concerts coming up in this area, finally. I'm not promising nothing, but I'm hoping to acquire to shoot some videos over the next couple weeks. One that isn't entirely a secret anymore, so I guess I can let the cat out of the bag, is I work for a particular big box retailer, and we're going to get ourselves a nice little concert treat. Elton John's coming to play, and I'm hoping to get the tickets tomorrow. I will find that out. Hopefully I will. I filmed a very short clip because my camera was dying last year of Aerosmith when they were there last year with Dream On. So I'm hoping to at least get, I don't know, at least one or two songs shot and done that way. Also, I found out Pat Travers is coming this weekend. This was so last minute. I'm hoping I'm going to get to go, but I don't know. So hopefully maybe I'll have some videos shot of that as well. Trying to think what else. I think that's it for the month of May. June may be some other stuff, but we'll talk about that more when it gets closer. Shout outs, Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark, of course. You know, he shines, he excels every week. Him, Mike Adams. I heard Commander was back last week. Hopefully he'll be around for on and off for a while too. Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams as well. Crate Junkies with a Z. Thrifty Music Collectors Group, YouTube Vinyl Community, and iDigs. Rob Elo Vox. Who else am I missing today at all of this? I know I'm forgetting a few of you people, and you're going to have to forgive me. Super Wes, he's another one. I've watched a few. Okay. One little book shout out. Believe it or not, for once, it's not musically related. Okay. But I think some of you people may actually care to know about this one. Are you into horror movies, like old-timey stuff like I am? What do I mean by that? 30s to 70s? You know, especially you got your classic Universal monster flicks, but also the cheesier the better. Okay. If you grew up in Chicago, Illinois area, southern Wisconsin, northwest Indiana, from 1979 to 1986, and then from 1994 to now, okay, you got to deal with Son of Svengoolie, now of course known as Svengoolie. This is Scary Monsters magazine, by the way. New issue just came out. It's issue 87. Go to Hastings or Barnes & Noble and grab this if you... Here's the back cover, full of pictures of Sven and Doug, even, his keyboard player. He is just really silly, okay? His real name's Rich Coase. I gotta tell you, he's pure genius. He is one of the few horror hosts that I have adored. This man has given me years and years and years of joy. He currently is recuperating from a heart attack that he had late last year, but he's still on air thanks to a good editing crew. He's supposed to hopefully be back, well, I don't know, soon, hopefully, with some new episodes. If you have the channel Me TV on your cable or satellite or wherever you're at, Saturday nights, 9 p.m., okay, at least Central Standard Time. I'm not entirely sure about the other time zones. Look for it. Watch it. You will enjoy. You'll have 2 hours of pure enjoyment getting to watch Svengoolie on MeTV on Saturday nights. Like I said, Godspeed, Rich Coes. I hope that you feel better because we really miss you. We really, really do. So you know what, guys? Like I said, shorter episode. I'm trying to think here. I should throw out a question. Yeah? Don't you think so? Yeah, okay. All right. How about this one? How about this one really quick? I'll throw this out. Concert gigs. What was the worst concert that you ever went to? Now, I mean, sure, okay, some local bands you might come into your memory. I'm talking about name people, okay? Classic rock, current, whatever. My biggest disappointment, for example, here's my story. 2005, 2006, I want to say. I won tickets to go see Eric Burdon and the New Animals out in Hemmons Auditorium in Elgin, Illinois. I don't know if any of you people know where that's at. I'm sorry. The Animals were one of my favorite 60s English blues rock groups, okay? They had a lot of hits. I'm not even going to tell you. You know. And the concert, he took the arrangements of like all the songs and they were so screwed up. The closest one that even sounded right was Sky Pilot. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, I can't explain it. It was horrible. And the band that he had behind him, I mean, the guitar player was competent, but the rest of the band I couldn't stand. Now, the thing that made it bad, extra bad, was I waited afterwards, and I'm the geek. Everybody knows it. I brought a couple Animals albums. I brought both War albums with Eric Burdon and War. And a solo album or two. I wasn't expecting to get all of them signed. I just was trying to cover my bases. And thanks to a member of the Eric Burdon fan club, who I guess his date couldn't show up, I'm hanging around the backstage door, and he understands my predicament. He looks at me and he's like, guess what? You're going in. And he goes off and plasters a sticky fabric pass for me to go backstage with him, which I'm like, oh, kick ass. This is going to be great. I'll get to meet Eric Burdon at least, and get some autographs. Well, we wind down and it's like in the basement of this place. I think we went down 1 or 2 flights of stairs. I'm like, good Lord, this is ridiculous. And we get down there, and there's a wonderful spread. There really is. There's even champagne down there, too, right? And everybody from the band is there except Eric. And I'm like, I have all my stuff, and this guy, like I said, he was a member of the fan club, and he brought some things, too. And next thing you know, we're like, well, where's Eric? Oh, Eric left already. He's back at the hotel. And I'm like, what? I was a little livid, to say the least. If you've got members of the Eric Burdon fan club and they have backstage passes, and I'm assuming, if you're a member of the fan club, then you had to pay extra to get meet and greet passes, and the artist doesn't show up, and there was no excuse. He wasn't sick. That's what they said, because we asked that question, and they were just like, no, he just went back to the hotel. He was done. I'm like, huh? Yeah. So that whole concert sucked ass. The only plus, if you can call it that, is on my way back, because I figured out how to get back through the venue, I went with friends, I was going to try to get them autographs for them too. It wasn't just for me. So for consolation prize, if you want to call it that, I managed to grab all 3 of the set lists. There was 3 copies of the set list of the show, so I gave my buddies, set lists. Better than nothing, right? So what was the most disappointing concert that you ever have been to? And name names, because I'm nosy. I'm curious. Okay? That's going to be the end of it for me. Take care. God bless. See you next week.